Hey everyone, it's Types, and as you know, I love Pokemon cards, and as you also know, Pokemon TCG, the game has been getting new cards, but there's only so many. But today we're taking a look at some submitted by you in my Discord server. These are custom cards. Taking a look at 10. These are the top 10 of the past month of June, and honestly, these are amazing. Like I really love the ones submitted this month. There's a ton of really cool cards. There's some that are cool that I haven't been able, that I'm not going to be getting to in this video, but you can check out my Discord server, as I said, if you want to see all of them there. And yeah, there's like some interesting Hoopas. Like a lot of people submitted Hoopa, which is kind of cool, but they're more, I don't know. They like kind of combine together and do some weird stuff that I decided not to include because I don't think they're quite as cool as the cards in this video, which these are legitimately like some really awesome ones here. And let's just hop right in. I will say I'm not exactly ranking these, but what makes a good custom card is a card that is interesting, somewhat, different than a regular card, right? If it's just like a regular card in like standard or something, for example, I guess like a well-designed card. I'd say Mega Kangaskhan EX is a pretty well-designed card, but if I saw there's a custom card, it'd be pretty disappointing because it's just a regular card, right? And that's true for most standard cards. So you want to see a bit above and beyond that. In terms of balance, it should be ideally relatively balanced between some of the weaker cards in the game and some of the stronger cards in the game. But balance matters a little bit less for these. I don't remember if any of these are like super off balance, but anyways, balance isn't the biggest deal here. And yeah, there are a few that have some like minor. There's some that have some typos, probably, but there's one that I know doesn't quite work, which we'll get to. But anyways, let's just hop right in here. The first card is this Bayleef. This was submitted to me by Bad Hacker. I believe it was supposed to be in some ways a reference to Champions or something like that. I don't really know. Maybe not even just a Pokemon that's, I guess, in Champions. I have not really played Champions. I suppose I will want to do that at some point. But yeah, anyways, we got this Bayleef here, of course, evolves into Meganium as well. Ultimately, it doesn't matter too much for this card, but it matters a little bit. Of course, it is grass as well, so it can use the Stadium, Forest of Vitality. I imagine most of these cards are intended to be worked within Standard and at that power level, but some are, much more intended to be synergized with certain Standard cards than others. But you have Seed Sower. For 1 grass, you search the deck for up to 3 basic grass Pokemon and put them onto your bench, then shuffle your deck. It's fine. It's fine here. But then you have this attack, Blooming Rally. I will say, I don't think the Pokemon necessarily needs Seed Sower. I'd say in terms of custom cards, it's generally not ideal if you have to shrink the text here, or if it, this one, like, you don't have to, and it fits in fine, maybe a bit tight, which is okay. Certainly if you're doing something interesting, but I don't, I think this first attack's kind of boring. Thematically, it's kind of cool, but, it's like Call for Family style attack, which you see all the time. And then also, it's really focused on the second attack as well. But anyways, Blooming Rally is the attack here that we're focusing on in this card for 2 grass. It does 20 future Pokemon in play. The wording here is a little weird, but it says it does 20 more for each of your Pokemon who has a basic Pokemon under it. And then it does 20 more for each your Pokemon with a stage 1 and a basic Pokemon under it. So this is pretty interesting. I suppose if you have a Pokemon that somehow has a stage 1 under it, but not a basic under it, it wouldn't get more, which is fine. I feel like it probably should count those, but also, like, I can't think of the last time I've ever seen that happen. It is possible, theoretically, but not really. So yeah, this is interesting. The main thing here is it's not counting, it is counting, so you choose their rare candied, but they only do 40 extra instead of 60 extra, right? So that is interesting there, allowing you to, encourage you to evolve manually. Obviously, that has to do with Force Vitality as well, but just an interesting thing in general. In some ways, this might even be more interesting if you didn't have Force Vitality, encouraging you to not rare candy, which is kind of interesting there, because obviously with like Stage 2 decks, you often want to rare candy. Obviously, the best deck in the game, Dragon Ball EX, not looking to rare candy as much because you have to cloak there, but it is definitely interesting to see, maybe with something like Greninja or something like that. But ultimately, this attack is pretty cool. Pretty, I'd say, clean. The attack's design here, just doing damage, encouraging evolutions, playing with the evolutions in a somewhat interesting way we haven't really seen, I don't think. Like, not encouraging you to cheat out evolutions in weird ways, which is kind of cool. Obviously, cheating evolutions can be fun, but encouraging players to kind of, quote, play by the rules is cool as well. So I like this attack here. Again, the wording's a little clunky, but it's not too bad. In terms of balance, you're doing Assuming you have a full bench. Well, so it counts itself here. I'm pretty sure, yeah. So that's a base of 40 there, assuming you evolved, which presumably you did. And then you're also going to be doing it with a full bench. That's 140. If those are all like stage ones, then you're going to be doing an extra 100. So that's like 240, pretty good. I feel like this card is pretty balanced, encourages some really interesting play, really dynamic play, encourages you to play lots of evolutions, but also obviously just playing lots of evolutions kind of sketchy as well. So really cool card. Nothing super crazy, but I really like it. But again, my bad hacker here. Then we have the next card here. These are actually 3 cards. Normally, I don't like to include cards that are, multiple cards that go together. Like Evolution Lines, I mentioned the Hoopas at the beginning of the video, which there's like alternate forms was kind of the thing there, which is kind of cool. But I'd say those cards are, and even like there's evolution lines, like for example in standard you have Dracloak and Dragapult EX. I'd say both are relatively cool designs, obviously kind of overpowered, but they are, I'd say, interesting, but they don't really have synergy here there. But then here, these 3 cards are the 3 legendary trainers do have synergy. I am not sure if these have the same name as each other. This was submitted by PyR as well. I don't remember in the Discord server. I don't think it was clarified there. There could have missed as well. But these are 3 supporters. Obviously, you can see like the combining artwork. This is really cool. This was submitted before we had the reveal of the combining stadiums as well. And yeah, this is these are the 3 supporters here. You play this by combining 3 different legendary trainers from your hand. Use each of the trainers' effects in the order of your choice. And it says that on all of them. And yeah, this is interesting. I will say I have something that could even be a suggested change. Someone asked about it in the Discord server and didn't get a response in the submission channel, which admittedly is right. Like you don't the submission channel is for submissions and stuff. I probably need to reformat some of the stuff in Discord as well. But yeah, with this card, you have these 2 different things that they do. You got blue, you got red, and you got green. I'm not sure if you can play just 1 copy of each. Well, technically you can play 2 of one, but I don't know if you could play 4 of the 3 legendary trainers in total, or you could play 4 copies of each, so like a total of 12, and play it a bunch of times in the game. But ultimately, it's an interesting card here. Regardless, we have seen, by the way, trainers need to play multiple at the same time through the use of, I believe, just items. Well, okay, we've seen it with stadiums as well with the new one revealed, but we've seen some items where you play 2 at the same time or more. There's some you play 4 at the same time. The ones you play 4 at the same time, I believe, are all bad. Those who play 2 at the same time, a lot of them are pretty good though. So anyways, you have this one on the left, the blue. Your opponent takes the prize card, so that's pretty bad as well. But then during this turn, your Pokemon's my type there attacks to deal, or is it? It is this. I mean, there's anyways. Also, I was just watching the game, so I'm pretty hyped up right now. But you deal 120 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon, and then during your opponent's next turn, wow, your Pokemon's Pokemon take 100 less damage from your opponent's Pokemon's attacks. So that is good. Obviously taking less damage, doing more damage, but you have another cost here. And then with red, you put a Pokemon without a rule box from your hand onto your bench. Really just cheating out a Pokemon to play, really cool there. As I said earlier in the video, cheating Pokemon to play is really fun, really chaotic in some ways, but really fun. And then green here, normally you have 10 cards in hand. Wow, that's a lot. And then attach energy from your hand to one of your Pokemon, and you can't play a supporter card during your next turn. That's interesting here. I will say, I mean, obviously, I have a big downside of needing to play 3, and then you also have a downside on 2 of them. With green, you can't play a supporter next turn, and blue, you give your opponent a prize card. I'd say I probably, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe it's fair. It would be interesting if you could play these cards as like individual cards. And I think if you look at them as individual supporter cards, blue would be balanced, maybe. I don't know. I mean, a supporter giving up a prize card is pretty substantial drawback, but then obviously the upside's really amazing. I can really shut your opponent down there, but I don't know. I feel like it's kind of fair. I don't know. I mean, it's so powerful, but with such a big downside, so it's hard to judge there. And then red, just putting a Pokemon straight onto your bench. I mean, kind of reminds me of Grimsley's move. You can maybe say like you can't play this turn 1 or whatever. Obviously, if you have to play all 3 together, then playing it turn 1 if you play it, that's pretty impressive. And then we also choose the order, which only matters. You should presumably well, you could green or red first, and it could change a little. But yeah, I mean, I'd say red is a little powerful, too powerful if it was on its own supporter. So, maybe that'd be an issue there. But I don't think it's super broken. We've seen cards like in this past, and sometimes they're really good, but they're kind of clunky as well. And then green, obviously really powerful. Not being able to play a support next turn, I feel like is a meaningful drawback. I'm not sure if like exactly how you look at this. Drawn Till supporters, I think usually aren't very good. I played with them some. I mean, I'm trying to think of them. There's like Drawn Till of 6. Karina's Focus is the one I'm thinking of, which was a Rapid Strike supporter. As far as I'm aware, Karina's Focus not played outside of Rapid Strike at all. Is there a Drawn Till of 7 supporter? I don't know. But let's check, I guess. Draw until. There we go. I think that. Oh, no. There we go. Let's see. Anything here? Oh, Team Rocket Sariana. So Team Rocket Sariana, I forgot about that one. That one is pretty good. I'm trying to look if there's anything else like it. Lily as well. Lily was good, but there's some like other stuff going on with Lily, so I'm not going to dive into that today. Team Rocket Sariana though was or is pretty good. It's strong until you have 8. So drawn till you have 10, and then also Accelerating Energy, obviously kind of crazy broken. Kind of reminds me of Mela as well, though. But then you can't play a supporter next turn, which is pretty rough. Actually makes it more narrow in its play patterns there. Mela certainly is a lot worse than Green. Mela was like not that good though, I guess. I don't know. I didn't really play with Mela. I didn't really see it played very much, but it seems like it could be really good. Anyways, I think if you could play these separately and you could combine them to have this crazy powerful effect of playing 3 supports on one turn, which is already a big upside, would be a little more interesting. But this is already pretty interesting. I saw this card. This is one of the first ones I saw, and it's like this is super sick here. In terms of balance, honestly, like probably bad if you if this was actually printed and you had to play all 3 together. But really cool, admittedly really cool. Kind of reminds me of Anthea and Concordia or whatever. Then we have the next card here. This card was submitted by Darth Zigzagoon. This is an Alolan Raticate GX. It's, I believe, balanced towards standard. It's got 270 HP. GX Pokemon, if you're not familiar, have GX attacks that let you, that are once per game attacks. You can use 1 GX attack per game. Obviously, it's a little weird if this card was like actually printed as standard, then it's the only GX in standard. So, there's a reason this is a custom card. But you can do cool stuff like this. And then you have the attack Last Resort GX. That's your GX attack at the beginning of your next turn. You may search your deck for as many Darkness Pokemon as you want, shuffle them, then put those cards into in your hand. Yeah. So I think the wording's right. The wording seems like you should shuffle after. I don't think it matters, but anyways. So this is Oh, sorry, Darkness Energy. There we go. It's Darkness Energy. I misread it. As I said, I'm a little tired as well right now. But yeah, it's Darkness Energy, which synergizes with the first attack, the only attack here, Hard Bite. Discard any number of Darkness Energy from your hand, and then discard a card from the top of your opponent's deck for each card discarded in this way. I do think Last Resort GX is not very good. Generally, I feel like a lot of GX attacks aren't super good. There are a handful that are just like amazing, and some that are fine. I mean, obviously they're good. Like it's a good attack, I guess. But like a lot of the setup ones, there's a bunch of these, and during the early GX era, some are good. But as power levels have grown since then, I don't think they're very good. And you see step attacks in standard, they're not super good, especially on evolutions. It's pretty rough there. But then hard bite, milling, this mills a lot. Also, you have an ability looting. Once per turn, you can draw a card. I think this is fine here. We saw GX Pokemon with 3 things on them, which is interesting. I'd honestly, I wish we saw standard cards with 3 things on them. I don't think there are any that have that. And yeah, just being able to draw a card is fine. I don't really have an issue with this ability. It's not super interesting. I guess having it here makes it a little more balanced. Mill generally is pretty bad. I think, and again, this was submitted by Darth Zigzagoon. I think it was described as a Mill Goldengo, or like Goldengo EX there, which isn't in standard anymore, but pretty interesting here. Mill is cool, I guess. I don't think Mill's annoying. I don't know. Some people complain about Mill, I guess. I was talking about Uncommon Fossil with this, or with Uncommon Fossil about this the other day, and he was saying, like, that he thinks people don't like Mill. I feel like people like Mill. I don't know. Tell me in the comment section, do you dislike playing, or do you like playing with Mill? Do you dislike playing against Mill? I feel like it's I mean, it's generally pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie. It can be annoying, but I feel like it's annoying with the stuff it's paired with. But this can legitimately mill a lot of cards. I feel like the most we've seen a card be able to mill. I mean, theoretically, there was a Wugtrio that could mill 9, but that was just kind of random. It was milling 4.5 on average. So you're looking at like 4 mills per turn for like the best mill Pokemon, and generally they're not very good. So this one can mill a lot. It's very like kind of aggressive, or like kind of explosive, I guess. It can mill a ton. It can mill like 10. It can mill not much. It has in between as well, so it's a really cool card. It's got HP. I just really love this Pokemon. I think it's not crazy out there. I'm not necessarily expecting Pokemon to print a card like this, but I really like this like big mill attack here. Then we have the next card here. This is Mega Barbaracle EX. This card's kind of weird and a little confusing. It is a Mega Stage 1 here. This card was submitted by D4C, and this card has the ability Superior Formation, which says when you place Pokemon from your hand, you may attach any amount of Barbaracles and Bindicles in play from your hand, or sorry, from the battle, from your field. It should probably be in play. Yeah, there we go. In play to this Pokemon as if this Pokemon evolved from each of them. And then if those Pokemon had any energy attached to them, if this Pokemon had any energy attached, them to this Pokemon, yeah. And then if this Pokemon is removed from play, discard all Pokemon attached this way. So again, they are essentially like Mega Barbaracle. Oh, this is actually really funny with the. Okay, no, sorry, I'm thinking about this with the weird the first card's made the Bayleaf, but it doesn't make Bayleaf like absurd, but it's think with the wording. This is kind of weird, obviously. And you are evolving it from a Binacle as well, and then you can accelerate with like the Barbaracle and Standard. I think that's intended, but I'm not 100% sure. But then you have Haughty Hands here for free, kind of, but it's free, but then it's plus. So for each Binacle under this Pokemon, this energy cost is increased by a fighting. Then for each Barbaracle, each Binacle under this Pokemon, this attack costs 110 more, or does 110 more to one of your opponent's Pokemon. And you can evolve it from Barbaracles, which I think the idea is that then you, like, Barbaracle gets energy or something. I'm not exactly sure the purpose of evolving for the Barbaracles. Obviously, thematically, like, you get all these, like, hands and stuff. But it's interesting. I feel like it should have something with the attack to do with the Barbaracles under it. But it's really interesting. I'd probably, oh yeah, this should be 110 times, I believe. I was gonna say it should be something plus, but it should be 110 times there, I think. But it's really interesting where it like kind of scales based on the energy attached to it. It's really weird, like the stuff it's evolved from that like becomes more expensive. It's a really weird card. I'm not gonna lie. How good is this card? I have no idea. This card's really weird. I'm not gonna lie. It's obviously like it's a mega, can be really big, I guess. And I guess it will have one Binacle under it normally because you're actually evolving it. So you could have, you could have 4, but that's 4 energies. You could have 3. That's kind of what you're looking at, taking relatively like consistent one shots, but it is still 3 energy. But it is versatile as well. Also, once you evolve like from a bunch of Binacles, then you're kind of staring at your board like, what do I do now? Because I can't play another one because all my Binacles are under this Pokemon. Theoretically, you could play have it evolve from 3 and then have your 4th one on the bench, and then when your Mega Barbaracle gets knocked out, you get all the Binacles back, and then evolve your active into the other Binacle into Mega Barbaracle, and then you like attach all the other Binacles to it or something weird like that. It's really interesting. Again, it's super weird, but for a custom card, I really like this. It's really creative. Just a super cool card. I have this Blacephalon EX. This is here. Most of these cards, if not all of them, were made on PokeCardMaker.net. This one is this weird like background mode thing you can look at, which is fine, I guess. I'd probably prefer if they were submitted without it. But I don't know. Tell me in the comment section what you prefer. Also, how do you get this? I don't know how you get this. But anyways, we have this Blacephalon EX submitted by Sailor May here. This card has 200 HP. And it has also, it is an Ultra Beast. I like the Ultra Beast. Some people really don't like the Ultra Beast. I mean, honestly, they had super sick cards. That's supposed to be why I like them. As Pokemon, they're kind of wacky. But anyways, Clown Around Town, fun attack name there. You do 90 and 20 more for each basic energy attached to all your Pokemon. This is fine. Honestly, the attack's not super interesting. How good is it actually? 90 if you got like say 6 with like with I'm thinking like Ogerpon Meganium. Also, wait, so is Meganium just double the energy on your grass Pokemon? I think it does. Meganium. No, it's all your Pokemon. Never mind. Okay, yeah. So for each basically grass energy attached to all your Pokemon, it provides double. So, yeah. So this you can attach the grass here. You could probably have like 4 or 5 double to like 8. Maybe 8 energy there. 160, 250. It's pretty solid. Obviously, that's like with a bunch of stuff going on there, but it's doable. And then your ability though is super interesting. Blasphemous Buffoonery. Which is again another fun name. Once in your turn, you may discard all cards attached to this Pokemon. Also, sorry, I do want to say something. Interrupt this a little bit. Not a sponsor or anything like that, but this is something I think I want to do another custom card contest on my channel. I again do them every month, just like videos. But then also I'm going to do a video where I want some crazy custom cards submitted by you. So that'll be in my Discord server. I don't know if I have done it yet at the time of recording this or posting it, but yeah, if I haven't, ping me or something. But once in your turn, you may discard all cards attached to this Pokemon and add this card to your prize cards face up. And then during Pokemon checkup, if this isn't your prize card and is face up, discard this card. This is interesting. This is a little weird. So you can play 4 copies of this, and then if you happen to prize it, you just take it. Oh, by the way, if you didn't know, the Ultra Beasts tend to interact with prize cards. I think this works really well with the exchange ticket. You can put this into your prizes, and then again, if during Pokemon checkup, if it's there, and it's face up, which. Oh wait, sorry, no, this doesn't work. Wait, how does this work? So your turn, you may discard all cards attached to this Pokemon and add to your prize cards face up. But it needs to be face up. So if somehow you flipped over your prize cards, then you could do it. I guess it allows you to get it out of play and then add it to your prize cards temporarily. It allows you to do weird prize card shenanigans, manipulating it maybe with Liz Determination or something like that. I feel like, I know this card's super weird. I can't exactly tell as Synergy's looking at it immediately, but it's a really weird card. It's a really sick card. It's a really strange card, but it, again, is super cool. I really like this stuff on EX. Really weird, but really cool here. Then we have the next card here. This is Melmetal EX. This card was submitted by Weird Fishes. This card here has 3 things on it. Again, I don't mind that too much, as long as it's not too cluttered, which, I mean, actually with the background's a little hard to read, but it's pretty cool and not too crazy. You have 3 different things. These don't really have too much synergy, but I do like them all. And Melting Point is the ability, if it's in the active at the end of your turn, place 3 damage counters on this Pokemon. So we see it has 320 HP on stage 1. That is very high. Melmetal is traditionally pretty tanky. There's a Melmetal EX in Standard, I think. I think it has a lot of HP. I could be wrong. It's at 280. It's high, but I mean this card's pretty terrible. But then Melmetal EX here from again from Weird Fishes. You put damage counters on it, right? So it'll end up down to 290, and it's going to kind of keep ticking down. You can heal it up with Monkey and do something like that, but I mean it's an interesting ability, an interesting downside there that maybe you can play into. And then you have the first stack here, Steel Thunder. You do 80. If your opponent's active Pokemon is knocked out by damage from this, you may have them reveal a top card and add it to their prize card's face up. Funnily enough, has, I guess, anti-synergy with the Blacephalon EX, because then they're just going to take it. But also with the Blacephalon EX, you discarded that card, so you don't take it. I mean, you take it as in it's gone, but you discard it. If your opponent's active is knocked out, though, you give him a prize card. Honestly, pretty rough, but this is 2 energy on a multi-prize stage 1, so it is. I mean, if this was just 80 for a 2 stage 1, it would be pretty bad. I think this stack might be a little too good. I might want to see this damage a little lower. Or the attack cost may be higher, actually, I think, because we've seen some Pokemon where, you take extra prizes and they, don't do very much. And sometimes they do, barely anything, and they're kind of a whole lot of nothing. Sometimes they're, I don't know, I think I like Iron Hands EX's design pretty well. Unlike there was Stoutland V, when paired with powerful colorless energy, was pretty good, but then it was bigger. I don't know. I feel like this attack is kind of cool though, and adding a prize to your opponent is cool. Can be annoying, but I think it is pretty interesting there as well. Then Magmash here for 4. You do 180. You can discard up to 3 energy from this Pokemon. If you do, switch your opponent's bench to the active before doing damage. So it's a versatile attack here. I do feel like Magmash is kind of bad. Steel Thunder is quite good. Melting Point is interesting. I like all 3 of these things here. They don't have necessarily synergy, but they are pretty cool. Again, I don't think there's anything they're looking at that's super crazy here, but I think it's, I think there's definitely actually There's cool things you can do with this card, playing with the different aspects of it. Again, they're like generic-ish, but they're not super generic. So I mean, this card would be super cool to play with. And I really love, like I said, all three aspects to this card. I think the balancing could maybe be tweaked a little. Not 100% sure how you do it. Probably decreasing the attack, the cost on Mag Bash. I could even see flipping Steel Thunder and Mag Bash, making Mag Bash a lower, increasing the attack cost on Steel Thunder, decreasing the attack cost on Mag Bash, maybe decreasing the damage on Mag Bash, maybe decreasing the energy you discard as well. Because switching between these attacks is something I think you want to be doing as well. The ability, maybe having some synergy with the attacks, could be cool as well. Not exactly sure where you'd throw that in. The ability is cool. I don't know if this is quite the right Pokemon for it, but it is definitely pretty interesting. They have this next card here, Porygon 2 EX. This is a super cool card, 230 HP, stage 1. It is a little weird being on a Pokemon that does evolve, having an EX, but we have seen this from time to time. Of course, this will not evolve then. But floppy disk for 2 colors, 40 for each energy attached to it, which is fine, I suppose. Kind of whatever, it's just, I think it's like the same attack as Chinchino EX pretty much, but it is fine. And then Digi Tracking is your ability. This is honestly super cool. Also, the art is pretty cool here, but and this card is also by Weird Fishes. And it has the ability once during a turn. During Pokemon Checkup, you may discard all energy from this Pokemon. If you do, you may choose the ability of a Pokemon in your discard pile until the end of your opponent's turn. This Pokemon has that ability. So there's two issues with this card. Well, I don't know, this is some weird stuff. The first issue is this doesn't work because this is once during your turn, and this is during Pokemon Checkup. And Pokemon Checkup isn't during your turn; it's between turns. So, Weird Fishes, is this supposed to be going into your turn or going out of your turn? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't know. So I don't really know what's going on here. It's obviously very different depending which way it works. Going into your opponent's turn means you're going to be looking to use a defensive ability because you'll never get it during your turn. And going into your turn means you can do some more interesting stuff, though it is a little bit more delayed there. Also, it could just be like during a turn, not during Pokemon Checkup, something you choose to do. Another issue with this card is you don't actually need to discard any energy to use the ability. You can just not have energy, which is probably what you're going to do, and then just use the ability. And then, yeah, that's probably what's going to happen. But I really love ability copying Pokemon. I think this one's done super well. Well, theoretically, I think it's kind of misworded some, not fully thought out, but it's a really cool ability. Copying abilities, I think it's relatively balanced. Copying abilities on a 2-prize stage 1, I think is fine. I mean, obviously there is some issues going to be broken. I don't know. And the attack's pretty generic, which I think is fine here. I wouldn't actually mind it being the same attack cost as Chinchino EX, allowing you to attack with something or copy an ability of something like some wall or something like that. I don't know, maybe that's annoying, but I think that's probably what you're looking to copy anyways, and then you can actually attack because you are losing the energies there, but maybe that's good to have floppy disk be 2 energy as well to balance it out as well. Overall, a pretty cool card. Pretty unhinged, I'm not gonna lie. A little out there. I don't know if super unhinged, but it's pretty cool. I really like this card here. Then we have the next card here, the final one by Weird Fishes. This is Mega Yveltal EX, a Mega basic fire, which is kind of interesting. And then this Pokemon is damaged from attack from your opponent's active. You may oh, sorry, Yveltal doesn't have a Mega, right? I don't think it does. Maybe it does. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it doesn't. But anyways, if this Pokemon is damaged from an attack from your opponent's active Pokemon, you can move those damaged guys onto your other Pokemon any way you like. I'll get to this ability in just a second, but we'll talk about Void Burn first here. Fire, Darkness, Colorless, places many damage guys as you like on your opponent's active Pokemon, then place that many damage guys on this Pokemon as well. So it can knock out anything, essentially. And then it'll take a bunch of damage itself. It does not, the attack doesn't work with the ability. So the attack or the ability is damage from attacks. This is not damage, it's damage kind of being placed. So that's interesting. It might almost be cooler if those work together. I don't know, but definitely really interesting here. Having this really interesting ability. I think the attack's fine. Obviously can be really powerful, versatile, but it's a little expensive as well. It's fine. It's cool. It's probably mediocre being kind of expensive though. And then you have the ability, which is very defensive. Again, you can just redirect damage anywhere you want. This might be too powerful. Also, I don't know how this works with Dragapult EX. If they hit you, and then they place their damage counters, and then who places the damage counters on your bench Pokemon first? Is it you or your opponent? Obviously matters quite a bit there. But Mega Yveltal EX, just deflecting the damage. It's really cool. Again, could be too powerful with some of the healing, but I don't know. I mean, and also healing stuff and tanky stuff is kind of cool, and we don't really see it too much in the Pokemon TCG actually be good. Sometimes it is good, but oftentimes it's kind of bad. Speaking of, with healing, you could kind of just like redirect all your damage, I guess, to like a Mega Kangaskhan EX on the bench or something like that, and then not. Just like Wise Compassionate or something like that. But it's pretty interesting. I like stability. Definitely hard to balance, but really, really cool. Then we have the next card here. This one was submitted by Flint. This card is a Smeargle. This one's really interesting, and it has just one attack here for one colorless, and it says if you have at least 5 different types of Pokemon on your bench, and 5 different types of basic energy attached to your bench Pokemon, and each of your basic Pokemon has a basic energy attached to it of a different type than themselves do in the game. I don't think that last line necessarily needs to be there, and it's a little clunky as well, but I mean, maybe it should be there. I don't know. But honestly, a really, really interesting attack here. It's an alternate win condition that's really cool. I think alternate win conditions can be fun. They're kind of weird. Most of them... Well, I guess there's some alternate win conditions where... let me find them here. I think there's... Let's see, I'll just search this up. Oh, this is probably going to give me some like stuff that I don't want, right? Let's see, win the game. I think none of these cards actually do what I want that I searched up, or essentially none of them. But anyways, let's see. I don't even know if there's any in standard. There probably is. What? Okay, there's definitely. Oh no, there's some that take prizes, but they don't technically win you the game. How many of these actually win you the game? The unknowns win you the game, of which I don't see unknown hand, which is kind of weird. I'm gonna quickly find that. Win this game is what they say. Win this. There we go. Okay. Oh yeah, there's End Sigilyph. This one wins you the game if you have one prize remaining. Same thing with Unknown V. They're pretty terrible. I'm not gonna lie. I saw an Unknown V deck. I was like, wow, this deck's sick. And then I realized it didn't work. I was like, why did the person go 0-1 drop? And yeah, they misread the card. But yeah, generally cards like this are pretty like cards that have auto win conditions are not very good. Except strangely, the 2 of the Unknown are banned and expanded. I don't know how good they are. I know Unknown Damage had a combo that was good, but like I don't know how good. It was kind of clunky, and then Unknown Hands. Funnily enough, I actually did have a combo, but the combo got banned. And anyways, that's for another day. And then also Unknown Hand is able to. I don't know. I don't know why Unknown Hand was banned. I'm not gonna lie. Tell me in the comment section. Like, is this card like actually ban worthy? I don't know. But anyways, so some of these cards are like kind of cool, but most of them are kind of trash. And then Unknown Missing is like horrendously terrible. It essentially can't ever win the game. So, you got some weird stuff here. But ultimately, this is really interesting. You need 5 different types of basic Pokemon, which is very doable. Pretty easy to do. Obviously, most decks probably aren't doing it, but probably most decks, probably some decks in the game could without changing anything. Obviously, probably need to change some stuff, but it's pretty easily. You kind of colors as well. You don't need to be different than Smeargle's type there. Could be another Smeargle. Probably not going to be that, but you're looking at what like Meowth EX or something, Latias EX, Pheasantipede EX, maybe Tiamat upon EX there. Kind of makes sense, I guess, and something else. It's pretty easy to do. Different types of energy, pretty hard to do though. Someone in the Discord was like, Crispin's gonna make us broken. Like, Crispin. I mean, Crispin's like a good card, but it accelerates 1 energy. Like, that's not a lot of energy acceleration. I'm not super familiar with all the types of energy acceleration in standard that are like big and kind of over the top, maybe like a Lapras EX or something wacky like that. But I mean, most of those cards aren't very good. Most of them are on attack. So this is really interesting, super unique, just a really different game. I will say some alternate win conditions can create a really jarring environment. We were talking about Mill earlier. Mill creates a weird environment where you're looking at an alternate win condition where you're kind of racing at the same time, but not to the same finish line. It's just very weird. Here, I think, your opponent's kind of trying to target certain Pokemon. With Smeargle, you might be doing some control stuff. You're not rushing your opponent too much. So I think these alternate win condition cards are super cool. In terms of balance, this card I think is completely fine. Probably probably honestly playable, probably not super good. I don't know exactly how playable it would be, but this is super cool as a custom card. Then we have the last custom card here. This is like the definition of a custom card. Actually, I didn't even, okay, yeah, I did read this whole card. This is also by Flint here. I don't know if I said it. Last card was by Flint. But the ability here is, this is a GX as well, balanced for current standard, I believe. And it's like an amazing attack here. I believe the attack cost is, the GX attack is 4 metal or water. I think it doesn't really matter too much. But then the ability Paradox Reversion. Once in your turn, you may, if you have 8 or more cards in your hand, you may use this ability, put cards from your Lost Zone into your discard pile. Kind of cool. There are some Lost Zone cards submitted in my Discord server. None stood out like crazy to me. This one is kind of whatever. I don't, I mean, getting stuff out of Lost Zone, I don't really love. I don't think it's like terrible. I know there are some people that think it's like super terrible, but it's whatever. And then also we got this Diamond Frame, does 80. If you have Palkia GX in play, you draw 3. It's metal colorless. This card, by the way, was not submitted with a Palkia GX. Sometimes I just ignore the other card it was submitted with, but I didn't do that here. There was no Palkia GX. But anyways, this lets you draw 3. Kind of cool, I guess. I don't know, kind of whatever. But then you got this hilarious attack here. Honestly, I don't know. This card is just super stupid. But I've got Time GX for, again, 4 combination of metal or water. You do, you flip 50 coins. It does 10 damage for each head. So averaging here 250 damage, which is actually not that good. I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of bad. But this card is super funny, so hilarious. I mean, I love this Dialga GX. It's so cool, so stupid, but so funny here. I really like this card. But yeah, just so silly. But tell me your thoughts on these cards down below in my comment section. But I hope you all enjoyed. Also, huge shout out to my YouTube members. Finally updated for the new month. But I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe. It really helps support me in this channel. Also, as I said, you can submit cards in my Discord server and check other stuff out. But I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.